Marvin Daniel Marv Levy is a former American and Canadian football coach, front office executive, and author. He served as head coach in the Canadian Football League for the Montreal Alouettes and in the National Football League for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, coaching the Bills to 4 consecutive American Football Conference championships. He was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2001. Early life, Levy's family emigrated from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. His father, a decorated World War I veteran, ran a small business on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. He graduated from South Shore High School in Chicago in 1943. Following graduation, he enlisted in the Army Air Forces and spent the remainder of World War II in the military. Levy was discharged from the Army shortly after the war ended. Though he was known to use historical examples to inspire his teams, Levy corrected those who used war and combat metaphors to describe football games by telling them that he actually fought in a war and that football and war were in no way comparable. Referring to the Super Bowl, he once said, "This is not a must-win." World War II was a must-win. College years, Levy enrolled at Coe College in Iowa. There he earned varsity letters in football, track, and basketball. He obtained a degree in English literature, was granted membership in the Phi Beta Kappa Society, and was twice voted Student Council President. He was also a member of the Tau Kappa Epsilon fraternity. He was admitted to Harvard University for graduate studies in 1951, earning a master's degree in English history. College coaching: Levy's first coaching job was at St. Louis Country Day School, coaching football and basketball, the latter in which he coached to a championship. 2 years later, Levy returned to Coe College as an assistant football coach, and in his second stint as a head coach, he also won a championship once again in basketball. In 1954, he joined the coaching staff at the University of New Mexico and was named head coach in 1958. In 2 seasons as head coach, he guided the Lobos to a 14-6 record and earned Skyline Conference Coach of the Year honors both years. He interviewed with the University of California, Berkeley on February 2, 1960, and was announced as the new head coach of the Cal Bears on February 5, 1960. Despite selecting a young Bill Walsh as a coaching assistant, Levy's best record during his 4-season tenure as head coach at Cal from 1960 to 1963 was 4-5-1. He finished his college coaching career with a 5-year stint as head coach at the College of William and Mary, where he twice earned Southern Conference Coach of the Year honors. Professional football: Levy began his professional football coaching career in 1969 as kicking teams coach for the Philadelphia Eagles before joining George Allen's staff as a special teams coach for the Los Angeles Rams in 1970. He followed Allen to Washington, D.C. in 1971, where he served as the Washington Redskins special teams coach for 2 seasons. Levy then served as the head coach of the Montreal Alouettes of the Canadian Football League for 5 seasons. He coached Montreal to 3 CFL Grey Cup appearances and 2 championships, and won the Annis Stukas Trophy in 1974. Levy returned to the NFL in 1978 as head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. He coached the Chiefs for 5 seasons with steady improvement each year, but was fired at the end of the strike-shortened 1982 season with a 3-6 record. Midway through the 1986 season, following a 2-year hiatus from coaching and 1 season as the head coach of the Chicago Blitz of the USFL, Levy returned to the NFL as head coach of the Buffalo Bills. He finished the season with a 2-5 record. In 1987, his first full season with the Bills, the team returned to respectability with a 7-8 record and were in the playoff hunt throughout most of the season. The following season the team posted a 12-4 record and won the first of 6 AFC Eastern Division titles. With his high-powered -0 Hotly offense, Levy's Bills went on to lead his AFC Championship team to 4 consecutive Super Bowl appearances. From 1988 through 1997, the Bills were first in the AFC in winning percentage and second only to the San Francisco 49ers in the NFL. Levy, the winningest coach in Bills' unregistered trademark history, recorded a €112.70 regular season record and was €11.08 in the playoffs during his 11 seasons with the Bills. He was named NFL Coach of the Year in 1988 and AFC Coach of the Year in 1988, 1993, and 1995. Coaching tree: Levy's coaching tree is among the largest of any NFL head coach. However, this is largely due to the fact that he once had Bill Walsh as an assistant and most of Walsh's assistants never worked under Levy. Among notable non-Walsh coaches are Wade Phillips, who succeeded Levy as the Bills' head coach and also served as head coach of the Denver Broncos and Dallas Cowboys, as well as former Baltimore Ravens and Baltimore-Indianapolis Colts coach Ted Marchibroda, and former New York Sentinels head coach Ted Cottrell. Outspoken pundit Chuck Dickerson worked under Levy for several years in Buffalo before being fired. First retirement: Levy retired in 1997 and became an analyst for NFL.com. In 2001 Levy was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Along with former Bills special teamer Steve Tasker, Levy did local broadcasts for the Bills' pre-season games until being appointed the Bills' general manager in 2006. During the regular season he was a part of the Chicago Bears pregame show on ESPN Radio 1000, as well as a Bears postgame show on Comcast Sportsnet. General Manager: On January 5, 2006, Bills owner Ralph Wilson enlisted Levy, at the age of 80, to act as general manager and vice president of football operations for the Buffalo Bills. Following the resignation of Mike Mularkey, there was initial speculation that Levy would resume a coaching role with the team. To eliminate this speculation, and to minimize any future tension between Levy and the Bills' new head coach, team owner Wilson said, "To say it very, very succinctly, Marv Levy is our general manager. He will never be the coach." Levy's first order of business was to hire a new coach as a replacement for Mularkey, who resigned within days of Levy's appointment. After a strenuous interview process, Levy and team owner Wilson hired Detroit Lions interim head coach Dick Jauron as coach. Jauron formerly was head coach of the Chicago Bears. Second retirement: following the Bills' last game of the 2007 season, Levy decided to step down as GM of the Bills. He has returned to live in his native Chicago, although he has also spent some time in Montreal mentoring then Alouettes head coach Mark Trestman. In 2009, Levy collaborated with Buffalo football historian Jeffrey Miller to write a book entitled Game Changers: The Greatest Plays in Buffalo Bills Football History. In August 2011, Levy published a second book, Between the Lies, featuring a team based loosely on the Bills progressing to the Super Bowl against a Los Angeles-based team and its take-no-prisoners head coach, while a scandal erupts, placing the integrity of the game at risk. Levy has indicated he has future books planned, some of which may not involve football. Head coaching record: College Professional Career highlights: won 2 of 3 CFL championships in 5 seasons while head coach of the Montreal Alouettes, guided the Bills to 6 division championships, compiled a 17-6 record against the winningest coach in NFL history, Don Shula. He is the only coach to have a winning record against Shula, other than Tom Flores of the Raiders, who went 6-1 against Don Shula. Compiled 204 CFL and USFL coaching victories, one of only 15 coaches to win 100 games with one NFL team, the only coach to compete in 4 Super Bowls in a row, retired at the age of 72. Tied with George Hellers as the oldest head coach in NFL history. First USFL alumnus to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, one of only 2 coaches to appear in both a Grey Cup championship game and the Super Bowl. The other is Bud Grant. Oldest coach ever to win 12 games and 10 games. See also, Iowa Sports Hall of Fame, List of Jews in sports, List of National Football League head coaches with 50 wins. Bibliography: Marv Levy, Where Else Would You Rather Be? Sports Publishing, 2004. ISBN 1-58261-797-X, Game Changers, The Greatest Plays in Buffalo Bills History, Triumph Books, 2009. ISBN 1-60078-275-2, Between the Lies, Ascend Books, 2011. ISBN 0-9830619-3-9. References. External links, official website, Mary Levy at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Marv Levy at the College Football Data Warehouse.